Alright, I've decided to subject myself to the worst torture imaginable in the land of the free and the home of the privileged. No, this is the worst punishment conceivable imagined. It's playing Halo 5. After successfully avoiding it for nearly a decade since it released. Why would I subject myself to this torture? Is it because of sheer resolve or willpower? No, it's because I fucking hate myself. I remember when Halo 5 was announced, Microsoft and 343 led an advert campaign named Hunt the Truth, which is a way to promote Halo 5 and give insight on what the campaign was going to be. In true Microsoft Wiener fashion and developer incompetence, the campaign was nothing like the fans got and people were pissed. It's like ordering a chocolate cake at a 3 Michelin star restaurant and the waiter hands you a pot of hot steamy cat piss. Compliments from the chef, bitch. Spoiler alert, I enjoyed Halo Infinite way more than Halo 5. Wise words from someone from the internet, they said that Halo 5 is a smelly poop and Halo Infinite is just poop. They're both poops. And not a relieving poop either. This is the type of poop where you gotta push out and you shit out 2 pebbles. Both aren't fantastic experiences. Let's talk about the weapons that are solely in a campaign. No variety. For some reason, all the cool weapons are locked behind the multiplayer, behind paywalls. Grenade launcher, the Spartan laser, all that jazz, but it's locked behind rec packs, which are basically our glorified loot boxes. Oh, and plasma rifle lovers, you can go fuck yourself with one. And I have no clue how they made the Promethean weapons even less fun. Also, the equipment is non-existent. They only replace it with the Spartan charge and the Spartan smash. Oh, you can aim down your sights now, which is pretty much useless in this game anyway. If it quacks like a duck, then it's a duck. This is dumb trying to be Call of Duty. Dear God, it looks like a mess already. It's like the Halo series started experiencing the worst body dysphoria than it did in 2012. Well, time to see for myself if Halo 5 is truly a bad game. Let's open up this Pandora's box together for this quick adventure. Trust me, when I say quick, I mean quicker than that time I busted the fattest nut on planet Earth for the very first time. It was like nutception, more so the Beethoven of nuts and the consciousness of the... So far so good. We got a cool ass action sequence with Team Osiris. I have zero clue who they are, but I'm sure buying another Halo book to appease the Microsoft lords will fill me in. The only person I recognize from here is Buck, who is a gunnery sergeant you play as in some portions of Halo 3 ODST. He's actually one of the most memorable characters in Halo lore, despite only him having to appear in one game. Man, I wonder who was in charge back then. The writing was way better. Honestly, this whole thing barely screams Halo at this point. If you replaced the Covenant with Rita Repulsa and her wizard aliens from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, you'd see no difference. At some moment, I figured they were all going to lock arms and form a Megazord. Alright, the first mission. Whew, I can do this. I can do this. Can't be that bad, right? I'm on heroic currently. Just keep my toes in check and stop me from getting bored. The movement in this game is drastically different from the previous entries and even Infinite. There's 2 Spartan abilities. A charged power elbow and a ground pound punch. That is all. And that is all they give you for the whole game. Say goodbye to the equipment again. And you're Sergeant Locke. The way I see it, that one guy that played Luke Cage. Damn. What a great show. Who is Locke? No one fucking knows. Why is Locke and Osiris trying to retrieve Dr. Halsey? I don't know. Who has her? I'm guessing the Covenant because we're murdering them with extreme prejudice. And oh god, not the Promethean enemies. Not again. I'm having flashbacks. They're just as annoying to fight and bland to play against. You see my Halo 4 video, you should know that I dislike the goddamn Promethean enemies. Their biggest strength is running away mid-battle like a bunch of pussies. Still glorified bullet sponges we know and hate till this day. Another change I noticed that this game has revives. If you push an enemy front too much, you can get revived by an AI teammate. Make a mistake, the AI help you out. Sometimes AI will just blindly walk into enemy fire and just die before they get to you or completely ignore you. The enemy AI in this title has to be the most severely dumbed down versions of all time. Most enemies will just peek out of cover and just stand there waiting to absorb 2 mags to the chest like a typical rapper. Back in the day, coveys would hide into cover to reload, take damage, or even plan to flank you out of hiding and commit to a full-on counter-assault. Guardians feels like a shooter on rails, similar to Call of Duty versus the open sandbox missions the first 3 in ODST or Reach boasted. And again, that's also an insult to Call of Duty because, well, Call of Duty can manage to pull a decent narrative much more easily than 343 could. Hell, Metal Gear Pachinko has more story than 5 and Infinite combined. Have you been to a Pachinko parlor? Those places smell like the back of an ungoy's toes. By the way, 343 has managed to make the weapons feel like pea shooters or slightly better pea shooters. I don't get it. Maybe that's where the unofficial moniker 3 steps forwards and 4 steps back come from. At the end of this mission, we get a cutscene where Jul Madama gets off. Instead of making this an exciting moment that happens when you're playing, we're stuck passively watching this fun stuff unfold. Oh, and you gotta love how they gloss over Dr. Halsey losing her arm too. Peak writing. Skip to Master Chief. What I'm about to tell you is a fact. Not a lie. This is probably the only decent mission in the game, and one of the 3 times you get to play as Chief throughout the whole campaign. We're back to looking for Cortana. Might as well be the same person we're looking for because Halsey is essentially Cortana, but more evil, right? I've never understood Halsey's role in the games either. Her motives are always vague. I believe she's quite possibly the most wasted potential in the lore. Thank God in this level there's only Covey forces because I can't stand fighting generic robots that retreat at a moment's notice. Chief learns Cortana is still indeed alive and kicking. There's just a small sequence where hunters jump scare Chief and Blue Team on top of scaffolding, but it comes out so wrong and so bland in your face. The game is acting like Chief is still scared of them, but this motherfucker took down hundreds, if not thousands of hunters by this time in the series or in his lore. The vibe check was not passed. Cool tiny space fight, I give it a green check mark. At least there's some variety in the gameplay, but it's all an illusion that's stuck on a rail. Back to the angry black man, we ended up on a planet filled with miners. No, not miners. Actually people that spend their miserable lives digging for ores. Oh, and the planet is ran by AI. Ooh, what can go wrong? I wonder if this already dickhead personality AI is going to end up betraying humanity somehow, because this seems how to be the story beat is going to go. Governor Sloan, the AI reluctantly takes our help with securing his base of operations. It's basically just fighting waves and waves of enemies until the next door opens. That's the whole game, to be honest. Nothing much to say. After helping our boy out, we continue our search for Chief and Blue Team. Commander Lasky and the rest of ONI or the UNSC, I don't know at this point, have a change of heart about the Chief and finally decide he's officially gone AWOL. I mean, it's not like he's gone AWOL in the first 4 games. This whole motivation to arrest Chief is so bland, so unnecessary, and finally, a tank and Warhawk sequence, something exciting, something to tickle my brain. Deep into the Forerunner or Mine Shaft, wherever the fuck it is, we meet the Warden Eternal. Let's just say, there's no reason you should find a fuck about this guy. His only reason for existing is to pad out the time for the whole game. He's supposed to be a reoccurring boss type character, but not a fun one like Nemesis or Mr. X or the Chainsaw dudes from Resi 4. His whole existence is just to make my existence playing this game more miserable. What a shame, because the design for his armor is so damn cool. To defeat this guy, you have to break his ankles like a Los Angeles Laker and shoot his back into pieces. Rinse, wash, repeat. Guy pops up 5 more times in the campaign. At one point, you're fighting 5 of him at once. Whoever came up with this idea, please swallow a whole bottle of laxatives and just shit yourself over and over again. Make sure to do it on the greatest day of your life, your wedding day, in hopes of being objected and lonely. Whatever odd chance someone loves an ugly mug like you and procreate and have that kid, and that kid shall have the same suffering that happens to you too. Jesus, that was dark. Damn. Blue Team and Osiris already made contact? What the fuck? I've only touched this game for less than 2 hours. Okay, time for the ultimate battle between the 2 Spartans.
Cortana's our concern now, sir.
Like hell she is.
That was it. Oh boy.
This is all I got. What more do you want from me?
Cortana leads Blue Team to a foreigner planet. Speaking of Blue Team, just like Osiris, you don't know anything about them unless you've read the books. I guess this is Microsoft and 343's way of experimenting using transmedia storytelling in an attempt to try to bring out a broader audience to the Halo name. And they fail horribly, and this game is literally living visual proof of it. Before you boo me and throw Rotten Tomatoes at me, hear me out. I love transmedia storytelling. I love having spin-offs. I love having TV shows, and I love having books. I love to read, actually. I read all the time. The issue with Halo now is that most of the story is hidden behind books or audiobooks. Some obscure comic book. And your flagship games, not your spin-offs, don't make sense, and there's going to be a disconnect between the gamer, your customer, and whoever wrote the story. There's going to be a disconnect, and there's going to be a disconnect of the game, and they're going to be scratching heads. You don't want no one scratching their heads playing a video game. You want their freaking hands on a goddamn controller.
This sucks, man.
I want to know more about Linda and Fred. I want to know more about their relationship with Master Chief. I or what Master Chief thinks about them. This game does not lay out the groundwork for that. Nothing. Nada. They're just around. They're just there. They could be literally any characters. They could be fucking 2 dementia patients in there, hiding behind that Spartan armor, and we wouldn't know. We couldn't even tell. If you told me your mom was in that suit, I wouldn't even question you. I have to say the same about Team Osiris as well. I don't know anyone except Locke. There's really no character to Locke. Cortana hints it at the end, background, but it's never touched upon after that. It would have been sick to see Locke before this whole story. Apparently he was an Oni assassin. That would have been a more badass game. Give the Master Chief a rest he deserves. Nah, cause free my nigga Chief, cause no way Microsoft's been milking him for 20 years. His udders are probably shriveled and wrinkled right now. You know what? They pulled a Spider-Man 3. They cooked up more than what they could chew. There's just so many things happening in this game, not in a great way, and there's only 13 missions in this whole entire video game. Most of the missions are short and bitter and leave you wanting more. We went from fighting the Covenant, then fighting the Prometheans, and then fighting the Prometheans again, looking for Cortana and the Chief. Apparently Chief is AWOL, and Chief is a bad guy now. And now, we are on a Covenant home planet, about to fight a civil war with Keith motherfucking David. That should be fucking awesome as hell.
The spies announce themselves now, Agent Locke.
Mid.
I thoroughly enjoyed this section in the game because it's a different change of scenery. You're fighting the Covenant only, and you're not fighting the Prometheans. That's honestly my only positives. I actually had fun in this section.
Stand by, Maki. We'll get to the orbiter soon.
Standing by.
Maki, we've reached the council chamber.
Understood. On my way. Kaidan! Soru! Kaisuta!
There's a nice emphasis on vehicle combat here, and you get to board the Kraken and actually shut it down. You know what the Kraken is? It's basically a Covenant Scarab hulked up to 7,000. It honestly doubles as a reminder that we could have gotten a whole Halo game based off the Covenant Civil War, which would have been way more intense than whatever we got in 5. And we're back on that Forerunner planet. We play as Master Chief as he chases his hot mommy, goth, e-girl, side chick, side hoe, girlfriend.
Hello, John. It's good to see you.
You've changed.
I mean, damn, look at those calcium boppers. Anyway, I don't know why Chief is chasing after her. Their whole relationship is toxic as hell. I feel like 343 making Cortana evil, well, bringing her back to life and making her evil, makes her sacrifice a whole understatement and just completely ruins her character. After mowing down these bastards and fighting the Warden Eternal not once but 5 times, Jesus Christ, I want to freaking jump off a building. We finally reached Cortana. Alright, Chief, let's bring her home. That's what this whole game was about, right? No, Cortana tried to convince Chief to join her into murdering millions of people. Not millions, but billions. And guess what she wants to start? An AI revolution. What? How unpredictable. What? There are so many great video games, movies, and books on like the idea of an AI revolution or AI like apocalypse, and this one just sets it up really terribly. And knowing that they complete it off screen because you don't get it in Halo Infinite, it makes it even worse. There's this one part we have to load shells and shells upon plasma into these cores to unlock a door for some reason. There was this one core blocked by shielding, and I was confused for a good 10 minutes on how to get past it. The only hint I got was Locke telling Tanaka to get rid of the shield. I thought I had to eliminate every single enemy on the map before I could progress. Nope. Then I searched for a hidden passage or a switch. Nope. Started shooting at the shield to see if it would weaken. Nah, what the fuck. I ended up just shooting at the ghost because I was bored until it popped. Yeah, level design and direction is piss poor. The majority of Halo 5 Guardians gameplay feels like Call of Duty's signature 3-lane gameplay loop. And that really dumbs it down because essentially you're just mowing down enemies until you defeat the last enemy and the door opens for you. And the neat set pieces thrown at us are very brief. I'm no expert in video game design, it's just something feels off about Halo 5 Guardians. From the small things like the enemy AI, the lack of engagement you feel during combat. You know, some first-person shooters have variety and they allow you to think. They allow you to choose your approach and what approach works best. And you can choose even the worst approach if you wanted to, if you want to make things a little difficult for you. Halo 5 Guardians is a one-way Street. It's a huge shame because this is probably one of the best looking Halo games that came out recently. Halo Infinite looks like garbage water. Everything looks freaking nice in Halo 5 Guardians. From the weapon design to the vehicle designs, even though they did change the art style, Halo 5 Guardians just aesthetically looks more pleasing. Don't hit me that they bastardized the OG art style. 343 only changed its art style back to the classic Bungie look because they were pandering to the audience for nostalgia. Compare Halo 5 Guardians with Halo Infinite and it's a complete night and day difference. Don't lie to yourself. The story ends with Cortana taking over basically the whole galaxy with the Guardians. The Guardians are basically just big ass Forerunner bird looking fucking spaceship destroyer things. That's the best I can describe it. Chief and UNSC failed to stop Cortana from basically massacring the whole entire galaxy and eventually pitting a war against Earth. Lasky and Infinity basically nope the fuck out. Chief, Locke, Blue Team, and Osiris basically meet up with Dr. Halsey and Arbiter, and the game ends. When things just started getting very interesting, the game just ends abruptly, just like that. There's no payoff to it. Halo 5 Guardian story completely gets glossed over by Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite completely ignores that whole bit. And I hate the fact that 343 decided to bring back Cortana from the dead and make her a completely evil being. Like, why? He just wasted a completely great character. 343 probably gave us the ultimate blue ball and the universe of gaming history. To be honest, ripping out the fattest and stinkiest fart known to man in the hottest summer in your car and Dutch ovening yourself probably has a bigger payoff than Halo 5 Guardians.